You know, yesterday when I talked about OTR Central and others, believing that, the Bucks matches, Young Bucks matches, like last night are predictable and repetitive, there was something else that a lot of people were critical about, and even those that defended the Bucks in their match with Kingston and Moxley, kind of agreed upon. And that was Cody Rhodes and how um, this whole perception of that he had of America versus, Britain, when he faced Anthony Ogogo. And that instead of doing the right thing, Anthony put him over instead of him putting over Anthony. And a lot of people pointed out a lot of the things that would go in Anthony's favor as being the one that should have gone over. Should have been basically the clear-cut babyface, even from a foreign descent. The fact that he's got 70% blindness in his eyes. He's biracial, stuff like that. And yet, to much of everybody's dismay, Cody was the one that went over. Now, apparently, I read somewhere that there was some fan backlash to this. I don't know if it was to the match itself, to the way Cody was presenting himself. I don't know. But apparently, there was some backlash. And this really brings up the fact, because a lot of people, mostly a guy I follow here on YouTube, the Strike Daddy, Jeff Chico of OTR Central, he basically made the comparison on numerous occasions, if not more recently, that he feels that there are very familiar founder-like tendencies when it comes to Cody. And when he's always talking about founder-like tendencies, he's talking along the lines of Jeff Jarrett in TNA. And how Jeff Jarrett, being one of the founders, if not the founder, along with his dad, just used the company to put himself over. Even when it came to talent that was coming in from WWE, Jeff would only bring them in most times to put himself over and not put them over. Or there was a new up and coming talent that obviously should be, the next big thing for your company, that instead of putting them over, Jeff would put himself over. And when Cody faced Anthony last night, everybody, including myself, felt, it's obvious you got to go with Anthony Ogogo. I mean, heck, I was willing to accept that even if Anthony beat Cody clean or by deceit, that sets up a rematch down the line in a cage, and then Cody could get his win back there. But that didn't happen. Instead, you had Cody basically take a lot of Anthony's best offense, including the two, punches that has knocked most of his opponents out over the past several weeks, and just shrugged them off and beat him. And this really got under a lot of people's skin because, like, OTR Central, a lot of them felt that there was too many similarities to Jeff Jarrett and what he did in TNA, because he did the same thing. So the obvious question, is Cody Rhodes, becoming the Jeff Jarrett of AEW? Is he going there? Is he becoming that kind of an individual? Because, if so, that doesn't paint, AEW, okay, sorry. Well, like I said, that doesn't paint AEW in a good light. It doesn't paint it in a good light, if you will, because of the fact that you're allowing basically one of your executives, one of your co-founders, to put himself over, and nobody likes that. Nobody likes that. So so the question is he becoming the Jeff Jarrett of AEW. Like I said, is he becoming like the Jeff Jarrett of AEW? That's the question. Is Cody Rhodes going down that path? Because a lot of folks, like I said, including, OTRS Central, and even Alex, just Alex, even from the way he talks about, the match last night, the way he's comparing Cody like to being the Highlander, if you will, of AEW. It makes you wonder, is Cody going down that path? I mean, the fact that he didn't put Anthony Ogogo over, who was booked like a beast over the past couple of weeks, is this just a sign of things to come? Because it's very similar to someone like Jeff Jarrett not putting, someone like Monty Brown over. When Monty Brown was hot and people wanted to see him be the next big thing in TNA. So you have to wonder, you have to ask yourself, is that the case here? Is Cody Rhodes becoming the Jeff Jarrett of AEW? And if so, and if so, is that going to be a negative for AEW? Is that going to be a detriment to AEW in the long run? Well, I would say, honestly, that the way people have described Jarrett, the fans, and even those that worked with Jarrett in TNA for a time, and have all said the same thing, I would say that unless Tony Kahn does something, or the booking team does something, then yeah, it will be a negative. It will be a detriment. I have respect for both guys. Believe it or not, I have respect for what both men have accomplished in the ring. Like them or not, I respect what they've done. But if you're going to be a co-founder of a company, or the founder of a company, where you're trying to give, additional opportunity, another place basically for people to go to hone their craft and show that they're as good as they say they are, then you need to basically put those people over. You need to put the spotlight on them and not on yourself. And when it comes to someone like Anthony Ogogo, then yeah, I agree. Cody, should have put Anthony over. Clean or not, he should have done it. And here's what's going to happen. Those that may have cheered for Cody last night, it's going to be a completely different story when they go back on the road in July. Because I guarantee you, when they go to Miami and they go to all these places in Texas, within the Dallas, San Antonio, and Austin regions, it's going to be a different story, and people are going to be booing they're going to be booing Cody, despite the fact that he's going to try to come off as a babyface. So, to me, I think before they get back on the road, Cody or Tony Khan, someone needs to put the foot down on this, and they need to make sure Cody doesn't become the Jeff Jarrett of AEW, because right now it seems like he's heading in that direction. But what do you guys think? Is he becoming the Jeff Jarrett of AEW? Let me know down below. Comment if you like. OTR Central, I'd love to hear your response on this, and I'll talk to y'all later.